If you're going through a divorce, maybe it's time to ask yourself a question that most guys never bother to ask. Are you the red flag? By the end of this video, you'll know the patterns that destroy relationships and mistakes that make you keep asking, why does this shit always happen to me? As a divorce and recovery coach, I work with every kind of guy. Almost all of them walk in searching for answers in some very wrong and fucked up places, setting blame on their ex, and I get it. She left, she lied, she fucked up. Understandably, you want to know what happened. Most of you will research the fuck out of diagnosing her as a covert narcissist, but you're missing the entire point here, that she's gone and now it's about you. So you're looking at answers from yesterday's newspaper, wondering what happened yesterday. You need to start asking the real question. What did I bring to the relationship that made it collapse? Because it doesn't matter who fouled, who cheated. Bottom line, you chose wrong, and now you're paying for it. It's been both my personal and professional experience that guys, and women for that matter, think that it's the player and that's the red flag, going from one girl to another, sleeping with multiple women at the same time.
What are you doing later?
I don't know.
I do.
Do you?
I know exactly.
Oh.
Seriously? Seriously? You ask her out like that?
But that couldn't be further from the truth. They're having fun. He's not the real danger because the player, when he's ready, he can commit. They have no problem forming boundaries. He's burned through the novelty and knows exactly what he wants. The real problem, the one that wrecks marriages, ruins datings, and repeats cycles, it's the needy guy. And when I interview men, I hear it all the time, the same line over and over again. I'm a relationship kind of guy, Renee. That sounds noble, sounds great, but it's really code for, I don't know how to form boundaries. That mindset leads to half-assed dating and serial development because you didn't learn shit. You went from one relationship to another. You're chasing connection and settle for the first piece of ass without learning that you can say no, so you settle. Here's a number I want you to remember, 44. Because out of every 100 of you guys watching, 65 will remarry. And of those 65, 67% will divorce again. That's 44 out of 100 who will go through a second divorce. Those numbers aren't coincidence. They happen because most men sprint into the next relationship before rebuilding the man staring at them in the mirror. So today, it's not about red flags in women. It's about the ones in us. Because the real issue isn't who you date, but who you are when you date. Because you might be the red flag. And don't get me wrong, you should date. You need to date. You need to meet people, laugh again, rebuild confidence, learn to flirt, get laid, lead. But date to rebuild, not to replace. Dating is part of your recovery, not to find your future ex-wife, so don't confuse dating with commitment. Don't lock yourself into another long-term relationship until you face your patterns or you'll be the next red flag. You'll be the could-have, should-have guy living with another fuck-up and regret. Unstable, not ready, just walking into a pattern waiting to repeat itself. So here's your warning. Invest in your work today, now, because history doesn't forgive denial. It repeats itself. And if you don't change your approach, you'll end up yet in another breakup wondering what went wrong. And I'll tell you where exactly you went wrong. You did nothing. Not a single goddamn thing to make sure that you didn't repeat your past mistakes, because those mistakes, they don't forgive. They'll haunt you and haunt you and haunt you again until you decide that maybe, just maybe, it's you that needs to change. In order for history not to repeat itself, you must begin asking some very difficult questions. You're now on your own, and that's terrifying. Add to it that you got not one fucking clue who you are. Your identity as you know it, it's dead. Think about this. Divorce, it brings you down so low that many are going to even question if you want to be alive in the first place. Dating someone for the sake of another relationship when you're so goddamn low is a huge red flag. You're not looking for a companion. What you're looking for is for someone to rescue you. So you listen to Dr. Feelgood content creators selling you comfortable delusions while calling it therapy, all under the umbrella of self-improvement, telling those that you meet on a dating site that you're complete because you did the work. You figured out of everything that she's a covert narcissist, so within a year, you get committed. Again, that's not just needy. That's fucking incredibly selfish. Gentlemen, my name is Rene Garcia, and I'm a divorce and recovery coach for men. I help men get through the divorce and also do what right now they think is the impossible, and that's recover and heal after the divorce. You're in a tumultuous time, and it's my job to help you get through this. So look around my channel, subscribe, like, and comment where you're at in the divorce. But most important, make the most intelligent decision that you're going to be making throughout the entire ordeal. Schedule a consult. They're free, they're confidential, and they really are life-changing. The link is in the comment section underneath. And again, I'm not one of those that says that you have to suffer through the pain. Not at all. Validate your feelings, but you have to. You need to be incredibly capable of judging your own character. Learn who the fuck you are without her. Value your worth and have fun doing it. That's work and, get this, it's fun. And if someone tells you that you need to be alone, completely alone, and feel that pain, fuck them. They're clueless, idealistic in nature, and they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, because we as humans, we're social creatures. We're not lone wolves, and you know what happens to the lone wolf? They die. But before you commit, rebuild. Before you attach, stabilize, because if you jump into something new without rebuilding, you're a red flag. And use dating as proof that you're grounded, not desperate. Being single, it doesn't mean that you're lost. That's where confidence returns, through independence and not attachment. Most men, they never get that far. They date out of fatigue, not readiness. They tell themselves that they're not the serial dating types, when in reality, they're just tired. They didn't grow, but paused. That's not transformation. That's waiting for someone else to fix you. And you can't outsource identity. You have to earn it back. Seize the opportunity. Learn to live by yourself. The moment you realize that peace is priceless is the moment that you gain your confidence, because the opposite of peace is anxiety, and anxious people, they second guess themselves all the time. I didn't want my second divorce, and I was terrified of her leaving. You know those moments when you can't believe that you're going through shit, but it's happening anyways? That was one of them. It's like that first dive into a cold swimming pool as you're midair where there's no turning back the clock. It was do or die time. But I made the conscious decision to go with it. I told myself that I was going to build a badass place. I had the resources, so I did it. Got the furniture I wanted, mirrors that were actually outside my bathroom. Even became a plant person. Yeah, that's right. I became a plant person. Makes me happy. I made it home. I truly thought my place was going to be in the 90th percentile. Then I started seeing other single guys my age. Turns out that most of them had done the same thing. If their place was a 7, mine was an 8, maybe an 8.5. But it doesn't have to be extravagant. You must own it, because when it's your place, the independence is special. It's beautiful. It's serenity, and serenity is when you stop wishing for something else to change. You don't need permission for shit. You decorate how you want, you eat what you want, you walk around with your balls hanging out. You don't have to explain shit to anyone. And that kind of independence gives you confidence, because you feel ownership at an unsurpassed level. You decide what you want. You take pride in things that used to feel unimportant. The time with your kids is going to be way different. Cleaning your place, even deciding whether the woman who came over stays the night or if she goes home. Because now you decide what fits in your life, and not the other way around. And that's empowering. I'm working with a client that moved in with his parents, and his parents are great, but he needed his own place, and I kept telling him that. The minute that he got it, he told me what he appreciates the most is the accountability factor with his kids. His parents, unknowingly, they just got in the way of his parenting. His place is much smaller, but it's home, and home is comfort. It's apple pie. It's not about having some designer apartment or flexing on anyone. It's about the simple fact that it's yours. You decide what stays, what goes, and what kind of man lives there. You don't do this, and you'll run the risk of being dependent on the next person that you date. And no one, including her, no one wants that. Learn to master communication. And communication means a lot of things. It's about speaking your point with tact, how open you are with others, your ability to communicate without making it complicated nor insulting. Too many people, we all have secrets, and I get it, but I'd argue that unless you're CIA, the more secrets you have, the lower you're able to communicate. A few years ago, I was FaceTiming a girl, and in the middle of the conversation, the call drops. Thinking we got disconnected, I texted. Turns out that her 9-year-old son, he just got home from his dad's and didn't tell her. She panicked and hung up. Huge red flag, and I never spoke to her again. Communication, it's you. It's the essence of being a being. You want to be one confident motherfucker? Communicate. It's more than just words. It's all of the above. How you show up, dress, tone, gestures. You want to learn about a person? See how they communicate with others when under stress. Do they talk about their problems to try to get others on their side, or do they actually look for a solution? See how they communicate with their kids. I dated a woman who once told me the story about her 17-year-old son. They were at the beach hanging out, and there was this beautiful girl in his field of vision. Being 17 once myself, I know exactly what was going through his head. He didn't want to get caught in front of his mom checking out another woman. It's awkward. It's embarrassing even. So he completely faced the opposite direction so that she, the other girl, was away from his field of vision. His mom told me how proud she was of him, how he showed restraint and respect towards his mom. That's a good man, she said. What a fucking waste of opportunity. Wasted because she could have used this time to learn about her son. That could have led to so much more meaningful conversations like what kind of girl he actually likes. Especially true because he didn't have a dad. She was widowed. That wasn't respect. That was avoidance. When I got divorced, I swore I would never have my kids grow up in fear of speaking their mind. They were going to command communication. Today, they still ask me best ways to reach out to other people, how to communicate, how to say certain things. And I do the same. I ask them. For instance, writing and speech, they're great. It's uplifting. But you know what made Reagan such a great communicator? That he was an actor and he knew how to act. Take acting lessons. I did, and it controls emotions. Communication is about knowing yourself. It's about having the balls to speak your mind, but also doing it intelligently. The more you understand how you sound, how you move, how you write, even how you breathe, the more you start to realize who you really are. It's the essence of being a higher value man. How the small nuances and micro gestures differentiate from what you say to how you say it. It's more than just words. It's your tone, your timing, your style, the way you dress, the way you carry yourself. It's all part of the same signal, vibe, aura. One of my favorite YouTube channels is about body language, the behavioral arts. Shout out to you, Spidey. And that's why all my consults are done virtual, because words, it's only 7% of communication. You want confidence? Learn to speak your mind, but do it intelligently. And that's why I started my YouTube channel, to communicate better. Putting myself on camera, it forced me to pay attention to how I speak, how I stand, how I connect, and how I can't enunciate shit correctly to save my life. But you want to get better at communication? Put yourself out there. Record something, write something, talk to strangers. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. That's how you sharpen your voice. And when your voice gets clear, so does your confidence. And last is, you gotta have peace, man. Trust that you're gonna be okay. Here's a red flag that most guys miss. You're on a date, right? And the girl asks what happens with your ex. And you say, she's a narcissist. You just told her everything that she needs to know and don't even know it. You've told her you've taken zero accountability. None. That answer just screams that you haven't done shit of the work. You want to really turn her on? Really? Tell her that you hired a divorce and recovery coach, that you invested in yourself, that you're learning rather than running from it, that you're looking forward, not backwards. That's initiative. That's maturity. And that's attractive as fuck. When you've actually moved on, you don't need to drag your ex's name into every story. You don't need to justify, defend, or diagnose. It's done. Over. You just say the truth, that it ended, learn from it, and you're better for it. Here's the actual copy that I would text a girl before I spoke with her. You don't have to read it, but it already speaks volumes just by looking at it. Everything came back to her. She did this, she did that. I didn't realize it, but I thought that I was just being honest and direct. But today, if I shared that, I'd be a huge red flag. Incredibly self-serving. I was doing it for me, not for other people. My story, well, actually very interesting. It's just fucking sad. She cheated, I was betrayed, she stole money from me. She used me, bottom line. But my story today is so much better. The one where I got my shit together and proved to those that I care to prove it to that I'm one fucking badass. We all get fucked over. You can talk about that, or you can talk about how you overcame it. My divorce recovery is one of my proudest moments. Frankly, getting over her was one of my best years of my life. It's like being in prison for so many years and coming out the other side free. I had peace. Because serenity is something that you get when you stop wishing for a different path. And I had serenity, and I knew exactly how my story was going to end. Andrew Solomon once said that we don't seek out painful experiences that make our identity, that we seek out our identities from those painful experiences, and we can endure great pain if we think it's purposeful, when we know it's for something, when we feel that it's moving us somewhere better, when you create opportunity from a horrible crisis. You're just getting started, gentlemen. Your 40s, they're now the new 30s, and your 60s are your new 40s. What kills most men isn't the pain. It's believing that the pain, that it was meant for nothing.